Let's give Frank Motola a round of applause. Frank.
Thank you, Chris. And thanks for inviting me to speak. I love SEO. I love marketing. I have a marketing company called Brandtastic. We work all over the country. And I love TBBO. It's the best networking group I've ever been a part of. I'm just going to try to give you an overall picture of how to think about SEO. So I'm not going to tell you step by step how to do things, although I will get into some specifics. It's the thought that you have in your mind, how you think about it, that's going to help you either do it yourself or hire someone to do it. Because many people, they know what SEO means, whereas back a few years ago, people didn't even know what it meant. So let's get started here. Think of it, see, they got the Google colors and everything. It's pretty amazing. It doesn't really look like server farm though. But I'm using this as an analogy to the Google algorithm. You got pipes going all different ways, and let's say you put new content in at the top and you get your rankings out at the bottom, right? So that's the algorithm. Now, that's like a machine. I think of it that way. And when they do a major update, they might add a pipe that goes from the green to the blue. They might open a valve that channels things into another area, but the machine is still there. So it's not like things have really changed a whole lot.
When was the last time that you used the yellow pages?
I want to say a year ago.
SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization.
Okay.
Any idea what that might actually mean?
Like, is it about search engine as in like Google's and Yahoo and stuff like that?
Yeah. Do you have any idea what it might do?
No.
Just a predisposed mindset that people do not believe the promises about SEO because either they've been burnt or someone's told them something that's not true. So there's a lot of snake oil out there, but the fact is it really does work, and those things are wrong, and your strongest marketing tool SEO can be, as our friend Yoda says. Now, when I look at this audience here, I kind of think about you people out there, because everybody's got a different place they're coming from, you know, and some experts out there. I know there's an SEO expert out there who's just waiting to catch me on something wrong, and you probably will, because there's no real set book that Google puts out that tells us all about this stuff. So everybody's coming from a different place, so I'm going to try to level it out and just try to help everybody and give you some takeaways. That's me. As you can tell, I'm a very serious SEO technician. No, I never goof around or act crazy or anything like that. I'm not sure who that is, but. So are you ready to go for the top of Google? Yes? Yes, yes, yes. But the main thing is to do something. You know, so many times people, I was just talking to Julie and she told me about a course she's taken, and she actually implemented it the same day or the next night and did something. So that's what I'm hoping that some of you will do. Because Google, this is the truth. I mean, we can ignore it and we can just say, oh yeah, our website's working great, you know, there's no problem. But the fact is that Google is the 800-pound gorilla, and if you do good on Google, you're going to do good on the other search engines. So you may have heard, I'm not supposed to move around, am I, Anthony? That's about the size of things, you know. Yahoo, I don't know if you've heard, but that's why the for sale sign is there. They're kind of not even going to be a player anymore. And they actually use the same search engine as Bing anyways. But this is why they're the gorilla. It's, you know, floated around from 64 to 69 for the past several years. Now, your position makes all the difference. And these figures I just made up, but I found them on the internet, so you know they're true. I did my best to find some good information. Google doesn't like you to see a lot of information. because this is an old screenshot, number one, but the ads don't look like that anymore. But you can see the first organic listing, which is right here, gets the lion's share of the clicks on the page. And that's where you want to be. Anywhere on the first page is going to work. About 5% of people will go to the second page. I'm one of them. That's where I find some of my customers, you know, if they're on the second page, they can get to the first page a lot quicker than somebody on the 10th page. We've probably gotten calls or gotten emails from this guy. Trust is a big issue in SEO. It's very hard to find a good practitioner, someone that knows what they're talking about.
If your Google local business listing is not claimed and verified by you, the business owner, your customer will not find your business. Press 1 now to speak to a live Google Plus specialist so we can assist you. Press 2 to be removed from this list. You're just about finished.
Very disturbing. Anytime you talk to somebody, first off, let me tell you, I'm going to use some examples of real stuff that we've done at our company. It's not to brag, it's just to tell you, to show you that it can be done. I'm not a guy that's read about doing it. I'm a guy that's done it. I don't always follow the rules that you might read, or the, you know, oh, well, you're not supposed to do it that way. I do what has worked for us. So you probably can't see that too well, but there's a lot of number ones there. And the cool thing to look at, whoops, is that the entered, this was the day after the website launched. It went from, I had it set to search the top 50. It went from on the 6th page or lower to number 1 overnight, which is pretty amazing. It doesn't always happen that way, unfortunately. And one of my clients, actually, his brother works at the Google server facility in Atlanta. We don't get any influence because of that, but I got to meet him. I didn't get to go there, but he's not really an SEO guy. But one thing he did tell me, which I found very interesting, because I told him, well, you know, it used to be that when you launch something, you'd have to wait weeks or even a month sometimes before Google would really reward you. He said, lately I've been seeing things happen, boom, just like that. And I mean overnight. And he said, well, Google indexes the whole web every 30 minutes. Is that insane? I mean, and I've tried to look up that and verify it. I couldn't find it anywhere. But he runs this facility, so I'm assuming that he knows what he's talking about. So now when we're talking about being found on search, because that's what it's all about, you got to make it easy on yourself. You can't be saying, I want to rank for coffee. You know, and you have a budget that is not going to allow that. You gotta find something in your list of services or products and define it in a way that it's going to be called we call a long tail search. So it's several words. The more words you add to the search, the more chances you have of ranking. Here's another example. Now this was from 2014 from MOZ, SEO Moz, which is a very reliable source. And they're saying position 1 gets 31% of the clicks. So this is only a little over a year ago. Organic clicks get 71% of the clicks on the page. Paid gets 23%. I used to be a very kind of anti-AdWords guy, but then I met with Sean Berg, one of the speakers who's going to talk later, and I started to understand how really you should have a formula that includes both. And if you want quick results, there's nothing like AdWords to get you to the top. But like in this audience here, how many people click on ads? Okay, a few. But it kind of reinforces, you know, if you see the company up there in the ad, then you see the organic, you know, it just, that increases conversions when that happens. So this morning, the first section of this, we're going to talk about local search. Basically, when you say SEO, you can have a local nature about it, or you can have what I call an organic nature. So if you had a national company, you'd only be concerned about ranking for the organic, which is much harder. But if you were like a plumber in Tampa, you know, that's a region, and it's a local. We were going to save the questions till the end, ma'am. Okay, you have to use a lot of manure and compost. You pile it on your computer. No, it just means natural search, so it's not paid. So there's three kinds: paid, organic, and local. And I'll show how they look. This is how they used to look, okay? The paid ad was at the top. This isn't that long ago, actually. And then there was a couple organic listings here. And then there were local, and the ads on the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there was actually 7. But everything just got harder because Google changed the results on local, and now it's only 3. So your chances are cut in half, more than in half. So that's a serious cut. Now here you're going to see the ad at the top. Most of the time, almost all the time, you're going to see the local here, and then you're going to see the organic. Now, how do you show up in local? Well, first off, when you go to more places right here, many people don't realize that you're going to see all of the local results in a display like this. So if you were let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you were Orlando Pool and Spa, you are right on the cusp of showing up in the normal result, because most people are not going to click that band and open more. If you click on one of the listings, then a panel will open that gives details, gives reviews, and you actually have an opportunity to write a review there. Now this is what that listing is based on. It's a Google My Business page. Everybody that's in business needs one. They probably already have one, even if they don't know it. It needs to be fully optimized. This particular one is not even done correctly, but he still ranks very well, and he has a lot of reviews. See, I even left a review for him. Now this is how it looks on a phone. It's a little more conducive to someone looking for more results. So that big blue button says more places, and then it'll open up a panel. And then when you click on the directory to see the one you're interested in, it gives you details, it gives you reviews, it also gives you an opportunity to leave a review. Mobile is working quite well in the local results. Now, how do you get there? Okay, citations are a big part of the picture when it comes to local results. I'm not talking about a traffic ticket, I'm talking about a listing on any one of these. There's hundreds of them, but we have a list of 70, which you're going to have access to. I'm going to give you a resource link when I'm done today, and you can go there and knock yourself out learning as much as possible. So you want to have a listing on each one of these, and what that helps you do is establish a presence across the whole web, so that when you do your Google My Business listing, they go out and they scan and they say, wow, this company's got it going on, you know, so they're going to give you more juice because of that. We have what's called the NAP, name, address, phone number, includes the website, but NAPWA, it just doesn't ring, you know, so these are the things you want to have exactly the same everywhere. I suggest making a document that has a description, your market areas, and address, all the stuff you need so you can copy and paste it in all those sources. And you also want to create a folder with about 10 photos and your logo, because many of them allow you to add that as well. Here's an example of a citation, Merchant Circle. This was for an effort I'm doing in Lakeland to rank there. This is a client in Lakeland also on Yelp. Yelp is a citation, much more than a citation. It's a great source of reviews that people rely on, so Yelp's very important today. Super pages, that just gives you a few examples of different ones. This is how the Google My Business page looks. It is in flux right now because Google Plus has changed, but Matt will be talking about some of that later. And you can see up here at the top the Manage My Page. When I'm logged in, I can manage that page. The reviews are down the bottom. When I log in, I'll see an interface like this, and it allows me to go up here and edit, where I can do several things. The address shows a place where you can add your market areas. So rather than putting a strict business and having a radius, I suggest using the town names because that seems to work better and give you more ability to rank locally. You'll probably see this. Well, you will see this if you log in now. They're trying to transition from the blue look into the red look. The red look is actually the new Google Plus, which is probably a couple weeks old now. And they call things different things. It's more geared towards a phone. It's very confusing, but whatever you have to do, you have to get through it and have to set up your Google My Business page. That is still the method of showing up in local results. But you want to do that after all the citations are done. So you establish that foundation. The resource link I'm going to give you will have links to all these things. And when you click on one of those, you'll end up here. You have to have a Google account, of course. And from there, you'll just go on. And I don't want to get into the details of it, but it's very user-friendly, very easy to do. Bing and Yahoo. Yahoo is kind of in flux, but Bing also has a local listing that you can set up. And I'd advise doing that as well. Because, you know, even though it's 20% of search, that's still a lot of people. Now you can actually talk to Google. It's amazing. And they're very helpful. Their customer service has improved like 1,000% over the past couple of years. So that is also on the website I'm going to give you. But if you want to write it down, now you can. You just go to that page. You hit request a call. Go through a few more hoops and enter your phone number, and then they'll call you. So if you have multiple Google Plus pages or something is wrong with the way things are set up, somebody has the wrong name, they'll actually help you through things and usually get things resolved. The Google account is key to your success. There's several items here that we're going to talk about today, but they're all offered by Google, they're all free, and they all can really help your business do better. Analytics is going to be talked about later. This is just a screenshot to show you the different. This is an old screenshot, but the same basics are there. I use it to show a customer how we did year over year. So this is an example of web visits, and it's up 1,200% year over year. So when you show someone that, they have hard evidence that you've actually done your job, which is what you want to see when you're talking to someone. The Google stars are very important. People love those stars. Reviews on Google will get you those. Remember, Google looks at other review sites as well. They look at yellow pages, super pages, and that helps as well. But if you have your people actually, your customers leave a review on Google and it sticks, once you get 5, you will start having the stars. We try to make it easy for customers by setting up a page on a website so that they just send the customer here, then they click on it and they can add their review. Now Matt Cutts is a Google guru. He's the SEO kind of connection when it comes to talking to the public about Google and SEO. And he's said years ago that social is going to figure into the mix when it comes to your ranking. So a company that is very active on social, has a lot of social signals, is going to do better than the company that's not. I talk about blogging here. Blogging is very important because blogging is content, and content we'll talk about more in the next section, but content is where it's at when it comes to Google. Links and content. So links when we create all those citations, remember we're putting a URL back to our website in each one of them. So that's a link to our website. If you have a friend that's a realtor and you're a plumber and they're willing to put your listing on their site and link to you, then that's a good thing. So links can be built organically. They can be built by asking people. Everybody's heard this. Well, now it's a reality. You know, most of the searches are on mobile devices. If it's a high-end product or a serious buying decision, they're probably going to go to a desktop after they found some sources. But what you want to have is a mobile-friendly site. When you search on your phone, you'll actually see it written there that it's mobile-friendly, and you'll know that it's okay. And responsive design means that it can look that way on a desktop, and it changes to this on a mobile device, and in between it has a stage that looks good on a tablet. This is a website. Again, it's on my resource page, but you can enter in your URL and it'll tell you if your site is mobile compatible, mobile friendly. This was called Mobilegeddon. It happened back in April, and at that time probably about 40% of the sites out there were not mobile compatible, and they got penalized and they lost their ranking. Another important factor is load time. This is called Pingdom, tools.pingdom.com. Enter in your URL and it'll search it from several different places and tell you how long it takes. So this one here was 1.64 seconds, and it's actually a huge site. So that's a good thing. If you were up to 5 seconds, I've seen sites up to 15 seconds. You know that if you go to a site and it takes that long to load, you're not going to stick around. You're just going to keep looking. And Google actually factors that in when they're telling which sites are going to rank. They don't want to rank sites that are going to give a bad experience. They don't want to rank sites that have bad content. So it's all about delivering the best result for the client. Now, I suggest that you go for multiple listing channels. Here's where we're talking about the local listings. That's based on citations. Reviews are important. Proximity to the CBD, very important. And that's another update that Google instituted about a year ago, so that if I'm here in St. Petersburg and I want to rank in Tampa, it's probably not going to happen on the local level. So if you were to go over near my office in Tampa and search web design, I'd come up number 1, 2, or 3. But over here, I don't. So it's very localized, and it's based on the IP address you're searching from. But you still can win there. It's the easiest win, really. The organic blog for this particular customer ranks. The organic site ranks. So the core website, the blog, and then a video. So I'm just going to run through. Now the local listing is tied to the Google My Business page, which looks like this. Or it can look like this. And then you have to click the little button that says Go to Classic if you want to look at the old way. This is their blog, Kitchen Cabinet Refinishing. This is their organic site. And this is their YouTube video. And check out the views on that thing. I mean, it's been up there 3 years, but people love videos, and we're going to have a presenter on videos as well. And he's a house painter, and this came out of the blue that we started building these pages on cabinet stuff, and this is like half his business now, and it just is a new avenue that came because people found it.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a part 2, but before we go into part 2, does anyone have any questions for Frank on part 1? We'll take like 3 questions. Kendall, here you go.
Yeah, just want to have you speak to WordPress and SEO. A lot of conflicting stuff online about that.
Well, WordPress is the bomb. It's the only way to go.
Yeah, all right. You talked about using the citations and having the NAP the same.
Let me just follow up a little bit more. I've been doing this a long time, so I did PHP, I did HTML. It's all HTML, but I built it using Dreamweaver. But WordPress is such an easy platform, and we're going to have presenters to talk about the plugins, the SEO, how it's so much easier on WordPress. There's other content management systems that work, but WordPress is like 25% of the websites out there now. So, Joel?
When you talked about the NAP in those citations, having all that the same,
Yes.
What about the description? I've kind of heard conflicting reports as to whether the description should be identical or the description should be different for each of those.
If you have the time to make it different, go ahead and make it different. We used to make it different, and then I actually emailed one of the top experts on it, and he said it is a negligible difference. In fact, most people are going to automate it. That's one thing I don't advise, is using something like Yext or one of those automated services that just blast it out there and gives you all these listings, but when you stop paying them, they disappear. Yeah, so this was a trip to see a client, and I couldn't help but go to Google. Shortly after that, they escorted me off the property. I didn't get to meet with Larry Page like I had planned. But this is the truth, you know, this is the Yellow Pages. They used to rule things, you know. If you didn't have a big ad in the Yellow Pages, you were not going to get any business, pretty much. But just imagine you pay big bucks to be in the Yellow Pages, right? All those pages, but the user only opens the first page. They don't do anything else. That's kind of what Google is like, you know? So we got our websites out there. They might be on page 25. Nobody's going to find them unless you hand them a card or your salespeople hand them a card. So it's all about being found. Even Yoda agrees that these things are kind of outdated, you know? So if you want to use the Yellow Pages, be my guest. That's kind of what happens to the money. So 23% of all websites on the internet, I kind of gave that away. It's probably higher now. 50,000 new sites a day are built on this platform because it's the best thing going. It's a public domain. It's stable. It doesn't get hacked as much as some of the others. When I ask someone how their website's doing, sometimes this is the answer I get, or this is what I feel that people are doing when I'm talking to them, because they don't want to know what they don't know. Then you have guys like this, and they're everywhere. There's many, many more scams than there are legitimate people doing SEO, which is sad. You know?
You see, Tommy, if you can't even get one girl to notice you, how do you plan on getting all the girls to notice you? Of course, Tommy, I'm using an analogy here. The girls represent the potential viewers to your website.
So what am I supposed to do?
Well, Tommy, if you give me just $19.95, I will use my magical voiceover guy website submission machine to tell all the girls how great you are. Soon enough, the girls will come calling for you. All that for just $19.95. Some restrictions apply, not valid for all websites. By submitting, we mean spamming website owners or adding the site to crappy directories that accept any and all submissions. If you feel dizziness, shortness of breath, or Google bans your website, you may need to upgrade to our premium website submission service.
Wow, that sounds like a deal. Neato!
But that's not the only thing you can do to move up your Google rankings.
How do you do that?
Once you've paid that easy payment of $19.95 to auto-submit your sites to the directories, then you need some magic SEO pixie dust.
Some what?
Magic SEO pixie dust. But the trick here is to make sure you contact the most expensive SEO wizard you can find, because only they have the best magic SEO pixie dust.
Well, I better contact them now.
Go get 'em, Tommy. Hey, Tommy, how high is your website ranking now on Google?
Actually, it's about the same. I don't think you gave me very good advice.
That's
because
great, Tommy. Glad to hear it. So, viewers, if you want to move up on your Google rankings and be just like Tommy, follow my easy steps to success.
But you actually didn't help me at all. I lost $19.95 and I've got this stupid pixie dust everywhere.
See, folks, it's that simple. And that's improving your Google website rankings.
Isn't that the way you feel sometimes? I mean, you're at the mercy of people because you don't know enough to know how to choose somebody. But I really believe that SEO is the new marketing currency that can really bring success. The problem is people just want to spend the money and they hope they're going to get the result. You got to be careful how you spend the money. So this is why I'm wearing this. I don't know if you heard about this analogy, but in SEO, there's disciplines. There's white hat, which is what I am, obviously, because I'm the good guy. But now my hair's all messed up. So black hat would be using illegal or approved methods to rank, and both work, but the black hat will not work as long. So doing things like buying links or schemes, there's always going to be schemes, but Google's getting better at finding the schemes, so it's better just to build a good site, do what it takes to get the performance. Now this looks like a real good performer, right? Does anyone remember these? Yeah? No, there you go. 70s. This is what you get. This is an analogy with a website. It just is not going to get you anywhere. But you did get a good deal, at least, This is more like it, though, Maserati. You're going to get performance. And it's going to run well, it's fast, it gets you there. But still people are stuck on, well, yeah, but my website looks pretty good, as long as you don't look too close, because, there's no gas, no engine, no tires, really, if you don't have what it takes to rank well. And we've all heard that sound. Yoda, yeah, I'm sorry, but the gremlins just don't cut it these days. So we're going to review the new Google algorithm. I'm just using a little humor here. I'm just trying to have fun. It was really named after the inventor of the internet. You probably know that. And in his honor, it was the Al Gore rhythm. We all remember him dancing on the stage there. All right, let's get serious. The most important factors are content and links. That's it. Content and links. Content and links. Links equals power. It equals a vote for your website. When someone links to your site, it's like they're saying that they believe in what you're doing, that they trust you. Not all links are created equal. So there's outbound links. So you might have a link on your website that goes to someone else's. So just akin that to a pail of water, and you poke a hole in the bottom, and you're losing link power because it's going out. Whereas the link coming in is pouring water in. So it's kind of a balance. So inbound is the best kind of links to have. If you have an inbound and an outbound to the same person, that's a reciprocal link. Back in the days when links could be manipulated, and people still try to do it, they had link farms. So there's sites developed overseas mostly where you can buy a link on Fiverr or one of those contractor sites. You can have plenty of links, but now you'll get penalized for doing that kind of thing, and it will cost you more to get them removed than any benefit that they give you. Directories and citations are great links. I apologize to any vegetarians here. Moz has a toolbar that will actually measure the power of your site based on links, and there's two factors. There's page authority and domain authority. The spam score will show up if you have a lot of bad links. You can get this for Firefox or Chrome. Just download it. And then once you turn it on, you can see the links. Well, now I have it open for all the results on the page, and I know you can't really read that from here, but you look at the competition, you can tell, like this one here, Thumbtack, has a huge domain authority, but they're still not ranking on top of the others. That's because typically they're just going to have one page on their site. Like Yellow Pages does that. So, many companies do that. You could have a mini site on their site, and they have such strong domain authority that your page may rank because of that. You're much better off just building your own site and having that yourself. So I know this is kind of confusing, but it's all based on the links to your site, the age, and the trust to your site. So if you had a site that's been around for 10 years, you probably have a lot of trust in the site, and you may already start with a good domain authority. So when you put good content on it, you're going to stand a good chance of ranking well. Whereas if you go out and buy a new domain, you don't have any trust, you don't have any domain authority, and that has to be built. So there's a strong advantage to sticking with the domain you have. When you do a search on Google, you'll see this in small print at the top, and it gives you an idea of the competitiveness of the keywords you're after. So if you put that in quotes, it'll even give you a better idea. But you can compare, the more words you add, the less that number is going to go down. And that right now, 11 million is pretty competitive. If I put it in quotes, it would probably be much less. And they used to allow you to put in the location that you wanted to search from. So you could tailor the results and make it look like you were searching from Ohio, even though you're in Tampa. Well, they took that away. So now you actually have to enter the town in the keyword search, which a lot of people do anyway. But this is a good way to get an idea of how competitive that keyword is. Now, I'd like to say, SEOs like to say content is king. That's really where it's at. Content's important because that's what the search engines look at. Every single page that's indexed has a certain amount of content that relates to a certain subject. But you can't forget about the people. We're after the people. So the story you tell about your business, your unique selling proposition, what makes you special is supreme, you know, but you have to have that good content. People ask about all these updates with all these different crazy animals. Again, we're back to the machine. It's the machine is the same. They're just tweaking it. So you don't have to be concerned that everything changed at Google, because it doesn't that often. The mobile update was the one time that it did. This is just a quick thing. I hate to rush through it, but it's very important. It gives you an idea of, let's say I want to sell widgets, and I have a company called Widget World. I build one page, and I talk about big widgets, red widgets, widget repair, and it's all there, but I'm not going to rank. So I need to have the categories of what I do. So, okay, so I do that, and maybe I'm going to build some pages underneath them. So under colors, I'll have red, green, and blue, and each one of those pages is dedicated to that subject. So if you bring that back to a real company, you know, a house painter, you're going to have interior painting, exterior painting. Whatever structure you come up with, it's got to end up looking like a pyramid that gives strength to the top. So under sizes, you're going to have several different size widgets. Under services, a lot of things you do with widgets. Repairs as well. So by the time you get done, you have all these sections that support the home page, and it's all tiered in a way that creates a great deal of strength, and internal linking between those pages is very important. So Google looks at that, and they reward that if it's developed correctly. And for instance, if I did all this, that was my website, and then I say, okay, well, I really know what it takes. I need to build a blog. So I didn't put the lines, but you build a blog that then supports all these pages, and your website will really take off. Blogging, there's so many advantages to it. It's just, I don't have enough time to even start talking about it. In fact, Matt's going to be talking about that later. But we always combine a blog. So these are core websites, and these are the supporting blogs. The blog is a way to continue to add content to your site to keep it fresh and to keep it in Google's eyes that you have new content all the time. And when you do an embedded link, so if I was to put on my website, website design Tampa, done by Frank, that was a sentence, and I made that link go to another page. That's okay to do, and it's good to do. And the keywords that you choose in those links between the pages are important when it comes to internal linking. On the other side of the coin, if you're looking for external links and you have all your friends in business linked to you and they all use the same keywords, they all say web design in Tampa and they link to my site, that's not the best way to do it, because Google will look at that as being spammy. They want to see natural links. Natural links come by blogging, because people will say, that's interesting, you know, I like that article, I'm going to put a link to that on my website. How they do it, it's going to be natural, and it's going to please Google, because they won't be doing it in a contrived way. All right, here's an example. Back in 2010, we did a website. It did fairly well. These are weekly visits. Then we added a blog, and we could see it was really taking off. So by January of 2012, we could see the increase that came from the blog. Now this section here, just look at this. This is the section right here. So this shows that continuing to work at that just presents monster increases. This is a seasonal business, so every winter it just kept getting higher and higher, and all we did was add one blog a week. So 50 pages a year, you know, that adds up. What makes a good website? The main thing is your story. You want to tell a story that is compelling, that convinces the person when they land on the page that you're the company that they want to use. There's a lot of information here. I probably don't have time to go through it all. Just some basic stuff. Your phone number's got to be easy to find because a lot of people just use the internet like the phone book. They just want to contact you, so make it easy to find. Now, dropping a big site, what I mean by that is, okay, let's say you've got a site that's not performing well, but it's been around for 10 years, and you want to increase the rankings. I would do it all incognito, build it out to the hilt, add lots of new content, and then drop it on Google. And that will give you results in an overnight fashion many times, and it's much easier than trying to climb up the mountain slowly. It's just the way things work. I've tried it both ways. Both ways work. Here's an example of one 700% increase in visits year over year after we dropped the big site over top of a site that wasn't performing well. Now everybody talks about the code. You don't have to be a coder to do this stuff. Or as they say in Minnesota, a coder. But Bonnie's going to talk about how you can add SEO via WordPress to your site. This is what code looks like to most of us, right? I'm not a coder. I can read a little bit of it, but the most important SEO basics are the meta tags. Here's a list of them, some of them. The most important of all is the title tag, then the description, and the header tags. Keyword tag has been devalued, but I still use it. Google and Bing say they don't use it, but sometimes they lie. So, and this is a good way to show how they show up. So in the code, you see meta name description. All right, description tag, pool remodeling in Winter Park, blah, blah, blah. That shows up here, or it used to. The title tag will show up at the top of the browser. So when Google indexes the page, they look at the title tag and the description tag. And just many times companies will just have ABC concrete on every single page. They don't have anything there. So just by adding that, you can have a lot of impact on your rankings. When I said this is what they used to do, what Google does now is they'll actually write a description tag based on the search query from your content. So it helps you, but it doesn't use it the way you planned it to be used, but you still need to do it. Now looking at a web page, you can see where these tags show up. The title tag again is at the top. An H1 tag, these are part of the header tags, H1, H2, and H3. And the title of the article would be an H1. That's the third most important thing. The H2 is also the next, so that'd be fourth. And you can see that this is smaller. And I've styled this to make it look the way I want to. This is also an embedded link. So that's a double whammy. It's an H3 tag, plus it's an embedded link to another page on my website. When you want to see the code, you go to Developer, View Source, or some fashion like that. Every browser has a different access to it. This is a style sheet page that we use as a guide. So when I set up the site, I know what the H1 is going to look like, the H2, the H3, and you can see that if you just did this from the start, from what WordPress gave you, it would just look black and it would be big, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. But you can style it to look the way you want to. So then when you have the page, it looks nice, and you're achieving your SEO goals by positioning the text in an important way and that Google will pick up. Again, a mistake I see many times is people use that styling as a way to design the site, not thinking about SEO. So they'll have an H2 tag that says click here, so it does you absolutely no value at all. So this is a site, you want to write that down. That'll bring you to a resource page. And 2020 Go, write that on your calendar. In the year 2020, we're going to have a big event. Maybe it'll help, Chris. I have the domain. This was one of those overnight results. We actually captured the whole page with one website. And the search is long tail. It's not like I'm a magician or a wizard. So it was Fireplace Insert Sutter Cove, which is, not a huge town. But still, they were impressed because it's the town next to them, and they didn't rank at all before. Oh. Sorry, Darth. Now this is, I love this slide, and it applies to all of our businesses. This is, I got out of the tattooing business after this episode. Thank you very much. I would like to give you some presents now.